Hello guys, it's Hands Up again. Now we are here about you with the part 2. I promised you the automatic lamination machine. We've seen the modeling part and the animation part in part 1. Now we'll be watching the design part in electrical design part. So for the laminator machine, we have two IR sensors, the infrared sensors, which will be object detectors. One is to know the number of papers, like if there is no paper and if there is paper in our laminating machine container. And based on that, the machine will be running and doing the lamination tasks. And for our infrared sensor, we'll be using it to detect the existence of paper in a conveyor tool. So for the minimizing the use of wastage of plastic, for the lamination, we'll be using the second sensor, so that to turn on the second motor and the laminator motors. And we'll be using a different type of a temperature sensor and a heater. The temperature sensor will be measuring the heat of our laminating system or the laminators, because it has to be predetermined. The temperature has to be a predetermined level for the lamination to be started. So a preset temperature is set for the system. We can set a preset number of degree of temperature is set. Then based on that, a voltage input is given to the system, so that it will be detecting doing the lamination process. So we have a heater here which will be heating our laminators, and we have a pressure sensor here. It's just a simple pressure sensor, a touch sensor, which will be measuring pressure between the laminator and our paper. So we can adjust the pressure in here, or how much pressure our laminator will have to force on our paper sheets. We'll have a servo motor which will be doing the, if you've seen the part 1 video, the model, the cutting is done, paper is cut. After the plastic is a raw plastic going still forward, so after being laminated, the paper has to be cut from the raw plastic or the continuous plastic supply. So to cut that, we are going to use a servo mechanism with a blade, and the blade will be the motion between 90 and 45 degree will make the blade cut the paper from the plastic. So similarly, we'll have buttons to control the system, on and off buttons. We have different motors in here. We have conveyor motors, two conveyors we'll be having, and we have 4 rollers. So we have 4 roller motors. We will be these are to simulate the design of the cylinders, which will be extending and retracting system. This will be the vacuum, and when the LED is on, the vacuum is on, and off, the vacuum is off. So to drive the motors, we are going to be using a relay mechanism. The relay mechanism is provided for, since the motor will be high power driven, we'll be using from a relay to power the motors. And for that, we need a flywheel diode for the circuit, and we'll be using an op-amp circuit to drive this system as well, since the Arduino controller have to be a separate system from the motor circuit. So every motor is designed with similar system. And since we can do image processing with microcontroller in the proteus simulation, we have to distinguish the A3 and A pair size input with a logic level input. So 1 and 0. Based on that, we'll give input. If A3 is on, then the paper is A3. So the cutting is done within the delay, since A3 paper is double of the A4 paper. So whenever A3 paper is selected, there is more delay between every cut where the servo has to run. So if it's A4 paper, like say if it takes 3 seconds, then it will take 6 seconds to get to make an A3 paper. So the timing makes the paper cutting a difference. How do we know the A3 and A4 paper? We have an algorithm written in Python in OpenCV that will be detecting the. If you want to know about that, make sure to put comment, and I'll make a detailed description about the image processing and how we differentiate A3 and A4 paper. It's basically based on edge detection. We detect edges because both A4 and A3 papers have edges. So based on that, and based calculating the area, since that the area of A3 paper is double of the area of the A4 paper, based on that we can be able to identify A4 in A3 papers. So let's run a simple simulation. So when we run the simulation, nothing happens because there is no paper in the container. So whenever there is a paper container, our extend is on first. So our extend is going, then extend vertically, it goes vertically, then the vacuum will turn on. At this point, paper has been gripped, then it will retract vertically, going up, then after that it will retract horizontally. Now a paper has been placed on the system, on the tray. Now our conveyor will be running. Now our conveyor 2 is running, and our rollers similarly will be running, which means the lamination process has been done. Our heater is 100%. And the cycle is repeated again. So this is how our rolling mechanism is worked. Until I see you with another video, please like, share, subscribe. Peace out. Love engineering.